Let's say that in a debate, for example, one of the debaters used the word treaty. Treaty means something that a lot of the masses, or if not the debaters, some parties come to terms with, agree upon. Treaty means something like that. But in terms of the straw man argument or straw man fallacy, if the word treaty used in the context of a debate, the straw man arguer would just take the meaning treaty in terms of threat or whatever. That would be a means of twisting or distorting or manipulating the meaning of the word into even something that the word even doesn't mean. And these are some forms of strawman arguments, of course. And the debaters do not have to be from opposing groups of thoughts or beliefs or belief systems. Another example, let's say that you're in a bar having a drink, and a nice sexy lady, you're alone of course, and a nice sexy lady comes and just sits next to you, and you began chatting, and then in a bar, and then just having drinks and chatting. Let's say that in terms of the ideological systems, you're an idiot and the lady is fascist. So, well, there are a few sets of debates that might happen in that context of a bar to people who have no idea about each other. They're just having drink and they've just met and chatting, and they're gonna debate. And the man is an idiot and the woman is fascist. And they might have a lot in common to share with each other, right? Because I mean, the two might intersect. There might be intersectionalities there in terms of identity. You know, fascist is an identity, and we have to respect fascists. And idiots is an identity, and we have to respect their sensitivities. So, fascists and idiots might have a lot in common to share and talk about. Maybe in some cases they might not have. So to just make an assessment of this contextual encounter in a bar where there's a fascist and there's an idiot meeting, they don't have to be of the same sex or the opposite sexes. It's just, let's say that debaters, and one of the debaters is a fascist and one of the debater is an idiot. And well, of course, not all fascists are idiots and not all idiots are fascists. So there might be some means of conflicts there as they continue drinking or chatting or debating and so on and so forth. And well, of course, idiots tend to take the words to the most extreme in a way as to just turn the meaning not even upside down. I mean, this is not the meaning of the word, just the opposite. Just like in the example of treaty, it doesn't mean threat. It means that all the dangers are gone, so you just come to make terms with it. But I mean, if there's an idiot who just distorts and manipulates the meaning of the word into something that the word doesn't even mean, then there might be a lot of problems. Well, yeah, let's say that the word treaty is used in the context of the bar when the debaters are idiots and fascists, and they use the word treaty in that context, and one of the debaters used the word treaty. doesn't matter who uses. It could be the fascist or the idiot. Well, there might be a few, indeed 3 different sensual or consensual outcomes in terms of the meaning in the context of a bar, where the debaters are just debating, and the meaning outcomes would be threefold. One is the most preferable one, is the fact that 3D means the same thing for both debaters. 3D. Okay, so there's nothing to just like fight about. It just means 3D. But for the idiot, 3D might mean threat, or let's say that for the fascist, yeah, I mean, it tends to be more or less like a fascistic making sense of things. Like 3D might mean threat, internal or external. And for the idiot, the 3D, the word 3D does not have to mean threat, but maybe just like some treats, you know, trick or treat or whatever, something sweet or something like that, snacks. So yeah, I mean, these are 3 examples of the 3 sensual outcomes of the term 3D used in the context of a debate in a bar. And if both idiots and fascists agree on the meaning of the word 3D as it is, and the common sense, that means common sense, it means 3D, then that's the domain of fascist idiocy or idiotic fascism. If the idiot's meaning is not shared or confirmed by the fascist, who thinks that it's threat, and the idiot thinks that it's treat, and then there's the risk of conflict. Yeah, that would be the right term to use. There's a risk of conflict there, because the fascist thinks it's a threat, existential threat or whatever, and the idiot thinks that it's a threat, and they're not in the intersectional domain of meaning, which means that 3D, which means that okay, we have gotten rid of all our, let's say, prejudices or like bad feelings that we have been fed with all the religious or ideological meanings around our existences or whatever. So we agree upon a common sense, which means 3D. It doesn't have to be pre-3D or whatever. However, if the fascist is intimidated even by the meaning of the treaty and conceives that as a threat, I mean, that's of course that's that mindset. And the idiot, because of the very maybe if the domain makes the idiot think of treaty as a threat, not as a threat but treat, then it's like a naivety or something like that. So I mean, these are the boundaries are not that blurry there. So if it's treaty for both debaters, it's treaty, and if it's a threat by one and treat by the other debaters, so there's like not a common sense or something like that. So there's no need to just like further the debate. You just you just accept the debater as whoever they are, idiot or fascist. But if they both debaters agree on the meaning as a treaty, then it is the domain of fascist idiocy or idiotic fascism, even when these groups of identities or groups of people, fascists or idiots, they don't need to be from the oppositional backgrounds, so there might be some intersections for them to just make a meaningful conversation. And in this example, that would be the domain of, or the area of common sense or treaty. Well, in terms of the example, that was the word treaty. And well, of course, what does it all have to do with a strawman argument or a strawman debate or a strawman fallacy? Well, I mean, that's both examples around the meaning of the term. Word treaty is just, treat or threat. Well, how the debater treats the meaning is in question there. Threat is more or less taking the word to the extreme. Treat is just like irrational. Well, in both meanings are irrational in terms of common sense, because treaty is treaty. But yeah, I mean, when there is this level of meaning where the sense is being disturbed, there's the risk, the potential of taking the meaning of whatever is said to the most extreme of it, which doesn't even need to be what the word means. Before giving this example of two debaters, one fascist and one idiot, I mean, to make that division, before making that division, of course, one has to test if all fascists are idiots or if all idiots are fascists. Before making that test, my 15-16 minutes of episode would be just trash. First, one has to make the hypothesis to see if all the fascists are idiots or if all idiots are fascists. Well, the common sense says that not all fascists are idiots and not all idiots are fascists. But there could be, especially after having seen, having heard of my example, there could be fascist idiots and idiot fascists who might come to terms with the meaning of a word like treaty, and they could make sense or agree on the meaning of the word treaty in not necessarily the context of a bar, but maybe, I don't know, it's just a convention or whatever. So there could be the debaters agreeing on the meaning of the word treaty and making even a treaty among each other. That would be ideal.